Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, everybody. So Wednesday, 9 p.m. in Ireland. So 10 p.m. in France, 9 in UK, and 11 o'clock for Nadja. So, my dear, thank you for your effort to be here with us. So, one more week full of challenges, and I hope this finds everyone well and safe. I want to say hello to our fellow brothers and sisters here, Ed Katz, Mary Lona, our friends from Brazil, Fayote, Irish friends, and give the opportunity to my friends here.
Boa noite, queridos amigos, bom dia e boa tarde. Aos brasileiros queridos que estão conectados conosco neste momento, o nosso pleito de gratidão pela valorosa amiga guerreira que retorna à pátria espiritual, Sueli Caldas Schubert. A ela vamos dedicar o nosso coração cheio de luz, que a acompanhe e seja recebida no plano maior. Good evening, my dear friends. Good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are. Today, we received the sad news that a good friend, an international conferencist, Sueli Caldas Schubert, returned to the spiritual world this afternoon, 6:30. So our prayers are with Sueli right now, and she will be received in spiritual world of the Master Jesus and benefactors, because she is really a greater spiritist and spirit. Sueli, thank you so much for everything you gave as a lessons for us for our life. Thank you, dear friends. We hope that we have a very nice evening in the UK. Wherever you are, a very nice time. Thank you so much.
Labas vakaras visiems, laba diena. Šiandien kalbėsime apie dvasingumą, nušviesime gyvenimiškus klausimus, bet mūsų tema šiandien yra mūsų vaikai yra dvasios. Tai tikiuosi, kad jums patiks, bus naudinga, bus įdomu. Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoy our theme from tonight. We are going to talk about children. Our children are spirits. So, hope you enjoy it. And now with Charles.
Bonjour, bonsoir. Merci encore une fois pour cette occasion d'être ensemble ce soir pour dire quelques mots sur cette belle philosophie que nous avons embrassée. Et donc aujourd'hui en particulier sur la question des enfants que nous allons essayer de développer. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Happy to be here again with you to talk about this question of children, childhood, according to this spiritist philosophy that we embraced. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
I lost my mouse. So, okay. As usual, we will start with a short video, and we can comment here.
Why on earth did I have to come exactly to this family? You might like your family a lot, a little, or might not like it at all. Doesn't matter. Family is so important in everyone's life. Family is our first resource. It's the ones who are closer to us, who can help us in life, and we can help them in life as well. How Spiritism sees family. Are you fine with your family? You love every single person in your family? Probably not. No one of us do have a perfect family. That's only on commercials, on TV commercials, right? How does Spiritism explains that? Well, if we are all spirits, as we are, and we are reincarnated, people that are around us in our family are spirits that are connected with us in some way. Maybe it's a good connection, maybe we're really close friends to these people, maybe we have lived other lives or past experiences with them, and we love them, and we come together again to improve this relationship, to do good for the people around us, and maybe not. Sometimes in our family comes a spirit or two or three or many that are not yet so well connected. Maybe with us, our brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, children, brothers-in-law, whatever, maybe there is some problems between us. Maybe in the past we had a fight. Maybe we were partners in a business and one stole the other guy. Maybe I killed someone and this person comes back with me as my brother or my sister or my wife. The relationship will be a bit tough. But that's exactly why we are together in a family, to try to recover this relationship, to try to become better acquainted with them. And it's in our interest to improve this relationship. So the tip there is the following. If in your family there's not everything is fine, if there's some people that you don't really go well with them, those are the people you should address to. Those are the people you should make a stronger effort trying to get acquainted, trying to be well with him or her. Try to understand this person, try to have more patience, try to put yourself in this person's shoes to understand the way he or she sees life. The opportunity you're having together in the family is the opportunity you need to recover this relationship. We are here reincarnating to evolve mentally, intellectually, and also morally. And the family is the best laboratory for that.
Once again, thank you very much for our friends from the Spiritist Academy for these amazing videos. Well, also we want to say hello to our friends in Portugal. And now we have friends from Portugal with us today. So thank you very much. And today's topic, we will discuss, as Charlie said, our children are spirits. As we have said in previous programs, God created us simple and ignorant, okay? And the term ignorant is something lack of knowledge, and we need to improve ourselves in order to gain this knowledge, okay? And simple, it's not a term of being without anything. So I'm using donated clothes, but it's simple in terms of how you are, how you treat the others, how is your patience, how is your attitude towards our brothers and sisters, okay? And when we think, like when we say someone is simple and ignorant, we always think is someone it's poor, without money, living in kind of poor conditions. But we need to understand that we do have simple people in either situation, rich or poor. We do have ignorant people in the same way. The simplicity of a soul induces the individual to express himself with clarity, with security and objectivity. We need to watch ourselves within our brothers and sisters. Like the video said, if you have a kind of family tie and you know someone is kind of not your fine tune, that's the one you need to work with. That's the one you need to take control of everything. And once we say take control of everything, it's like when we as a child. A child, it's the best example we can give here. They don't have like preconceptions. They don't have anything to say what they think. So they just say they are simple and innocent. They don't have a pride. So we need to use this as an example. We need to act as a child, and we need at the same time use our intelligence, our knowledge in order to deal not with our family ties, but with everybody else. And my dear friend, Charles, let's go to France. On question 132 of the Spirits book, Kardec asked to the spirits, what is the aim of incarnation of spirits? Could you walk us through here?
Sure. Thanks a lot for the question, Stevan. We have seen already in our past emission, I think it was the 11th of March or so, about reincarnation. What is the purpose of the reincarnation? I mean, when we talked about reincarnation, of course, we talk also about incarnation. And the basic law is this law of progress. You really pointed very well, Stevan, that our starting point of every spirit is the same, is with simple and without knowledge. And then through the incarnation, through the time, with the time, everyone is then progressing towards gaining intelligence, gaining knowledge, and also gaining morality, gaining goodness. And this is basically the purpose of the reincarnation and of the incarnation, this law of evolution, which is also a universal natural law. Now, why do we need to incarnate in order to progress? Why do the spirits need to incarnate instead of for the progressing? This is exactly this question 132 of the Spirits book. And Kardec is basically, the spirits are basically answering that the incarnation is needed for this progress, for leading the spirit to the perfection. So we have several types of incarnation, as we have seen it in the video, and as you also just explained it, Stevan. Some incarnation, the things are going pretty well, with, how to say, progress, not too much difficulties, not too much suffering, and so on. And some others are much, much more difficult, with difficult diseases already in the childhood when you begin, and so on. So this is also one big question that we told last time. We can understand only with reincarnation, not reasoning about one life only. So for some spirits, clearly this present incarnation is what is so-called expiation, which is the difficult trials, difficult things to overcome. And but for others, it's more positive. The others are incarnating with a mission, with something to do, something to achieve, something to teach to the others, some example to give, and so on. So you have well-known missionaries, as was Jesus, as was Gandhi. We can see a lot of other names throughout the world. And so this is even so. This will come in missions. They also incarnate because it's a way to bring this mission to the earth, to bring this mission to the other spirits which are incarnated here, because it's really the spirit can also progress in the spiritual world, but the real trial, the real test is when we are incarnated, when we don't remember all our past lives, where we are coming from. It has also been very well explained in the video. Sometimes we have enemies, we have killed someone, and we are reincarnating together. So this is also forgetting the past life is necessary in order to enable two persons like this to live together and to try to find a way to forgiving one another, for reconciliation, and so on. Yeah? So the childhood is exactly this phase of the reincarnation, the first steps on the earth, where, how to say, in this young age, the spirit is not yet revealing fully who he is. But behind our child, there can be, as we have told, very old spirits which have much older than the father and mother, with bigger progress. And but anyhow, the child comes already with all this inheritance from the past lives. And this is exactly the challenge of the parents, to bring education to this child, taking into consideration all this, how to say, this fact that the spirit, that the childhood has the children have a long past, and do the utmost in order to prepare it to accomplish the mission he has foreseen, and that the parents generally, they don't know it, they ignore it. They just have to give him, how to say, education, not only instruction, but education, as we told also in the past, and to give him all the best tools and resources in order to maximize the chances that this child is then performing this mission correctly. And here we can see also the second aspect of this need to reincarnation on the earth, because by reincarnating on the earth, we are also participating to all this evolution of the material aspect of the world itself, as we can see on the technological and progress on the earth, as these resources like internet we have now in order to be able to communicate and to exchange ideas, even in the lockdown period that we are passing now. So all this is, how to say, a way to bring the progress everywhere in the world. So we are somehow assisting the Creator in this task, learning solidarity, learning fraternity, learning collaboration with one another, in order to mutual assist ourselves and the others into this mission and the progress. And that is exactly, how to say, the purpose of being incarnated, and why some childs are then coming here and there into our family or into other families, by adoption, by natural pregnancy, or whatever mean. We always have this opportunity to bring our little stone to this building, to this the big task of progressing of not only ourselves, but also the whole humanity. So this is what I can say shortly on this question. Why do we incarnate? What is the purpose of incarnation? Yes, it is evolution. And just maybe to add, I remember that in a lecture I was giving, there was a lady, and this lady came regularly to the lectures, and she was telling reincarnation. She had big difficulties with it, because she did not explain us the details, of course, and it would be confidential or whatever, but she had a difficult life, and she was clearly saying, I don't want to reincarnate anymore. And then we discussing, okay, you may take some time to decide or whatever, but here apparently you decided to reincarnate. And as we have told the last time, the program of your life is you have decided it before you incarnated. And okay, but it was difficult. But so we can understand some reluctance for some people for it. But when you take a little bit distance, when you think about really the incarnation is something that each of us will decide to reincarnate, to come with a given mission, in agreement with the future parents in the spiritual world. When the parents are sleeping, their soul gets freed from their body. Then is where the negotiations are done. Okay, I can come. Yes, you can come, etc. With this and that trial, this and that difficulty, and so on. And everything is then agreed, and it's a kind of a mutual decision, depending on the will and also on the free will of all the persons which are involved in it. So that's what I just wanted to compliment. Sorry.
Hey, my friend. Yeah, it's. I would say when we don't want something, but once we know the history, we change our mind straight away. I know. Talking about change your mind, Elsa is very quiet. Let me put her here on fire. Let me put her on fire here. My dear, Charlie just said that someone says, I don't want to reincarnate anymore. We cannot say this is going to happen, no? And also we have another question here from Guilherme Diaz. Can we decide not to incarnate? Would you mind to give us a briefing about it and how the family ties are built?
Did you finish?
Yeah.
Okay. It's amazing how the process of divine laws working to progress humanity. First, quickly, before I enter in my say something here, I saw that Guilherme asked about if he decided not to reincarnate. But incarnation is our process of evolution. We must come to the physical body on Earth or an equivalent planet as our planet level in order to evolve. Only in the flesh that we can undergo trials and attunements in knowing how to evolve, because the benefactors are taking care of our planet. We have our guardian angels that is helping us in the spiritual world to open our eyes, to acknowledge that we are the spirits, that we need to come to reincarnate. They even help us to plan our reincarnation, the way that our spirit will mold our physical body when we have this level to understand. But there are murders, come and go. Sometimes they must reincarnate without knowing that they are reincarnating, the way that they will be on putti, they will be in different ways. Nothing is written in stone, but cause and effect, action and reaction, reincarnation, successive reincarnations is helping us to evolve. We must do it. Sometimes I would like to come or not to come. That is the law. We will be reincarnating. So the process of successive reincarnations is different from each one of us in different evolutionary stages of us, each one of us human beings. Some reincarnations are planned by the spiritual workers in the upper zones with care and according to what each spirit needs to experience in the physical body. Everything is balanced, equilibrium. Some spirits participate in planning their own reincarnation, as I said before. Others are more in the state of sleep because they have not yet fully targeted the wider view of spiritual life. Thus, related relatives gather in the spiritual world and agree to receive in the family When all are reincarnated, they agree to receive recalcitrant spirits to, through motherhood and fatherhood, assist in their spiritual educational progress, evolution. So sometimes you have your children. Two are very nice indeed, obey, respect, and learn things. And there is one that is completely the opposite side. But the family, as two good ones inverted comma, no? The children growing up, we know how important is educating properly our children. So the families receive these inverted commas, a spirit recalcitrant, our past enemies, and help these spirits evolve. And when we develop motherhood, our love from our hearts, our children are our treasure. So we do everything to help our children to evolve. We have to say yes, yes, no, no, in the right time, not always cuddle, and give everything without educating properly. We don't sell education for our children. We do it. And the best thing is with love and understanding. So, in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 4, there is a very important topic related to children, parents, relatives receiving these spirits from the spiritual world. And says, family ties are not destroyed through reincarnation, as some would believe. On the contrary, they become stronger and closer. So we must reincarnate, Guilherme. The opposite principle would, on the other hand, certainly destroy them. In space, entities form groups or families bound together by affection, sympathy towards each other, and by similar inclinations. Happy at being together, these spirits seek each other. Incarnate life separates them only for a while. So on returning to the spiritual world, they again reunite as friends who just returned from a journey. So we live 30 years, 70 years, 100 years. As my brother-in-law, they will be 100 years, okay? So this entire life is a grain of sand in the desert or in the universe. So we have, as a spirit, 100 years is nothing. We go to the spiritual world after 100 years on earth. We achieve such a level of understanding, intellectual and moral levels. We return to the spiritual world, and there the benefactor has to plan, and we come back on earth. Maybe in 3-4 decades, or maybe 100 years, or still, if you are good, we can still work in the spiritual world to help our planet evolve. So frequently, they will even follow each other into their incarnate form. I, Elsa, with my husband, I know, I am sure, and I saw we had 3 incarnations together in a different parts of the world. The last one was in Iran, in ancient Persia. So I visited them, and I knew that was there. I found pieces of puzzle and joined together, me and my husband. So he is my love for the universe, and we still bound together. He's there now, helping us here as a spirit, especially in this time of COVID, but he also inspired me the way that I have to work as a great and good spiritist that he was in the last incarnation. When some members of the same spiritual family become incarnate and others not, they then continue their contact by means of thought. So we know that there is no death, there is no eternal punishment, there is no eternal nothing. Everything is on a scale, come and go, and progressing as much as we can. Each incarnation, we progress a little bit more. I think I have more things here, but I will stop Stevan. Otherwise, I will invade Nadja's time.
We are on time. You know, Nadja, you have a difficult mission right now. No, Maria.
No, it's fine. We have 2 questions. I don't know, Elsa, do you like to continue your talk and answering those questions, because it makes then continuing your talk.
There's a person here. Can a spirit?
No, there's a question before saying, do we know our parents will split beforehand? Well, I think it is, do we know our parents beforehand? Before when we, well,
I think it's divorce, no?
Divorce.
Split. Separate.
We will split beforehand.
Yeah, divorce.
I would answer no. We know that there is a risk, but divorce is up to the free will of each one. So it is not something defined in advance. And the question from Guilherme is also very well. Can we decide not to incarnate? Yes, we can decide not to incarnate. But sooner or later, we come back on this decision because we see that the only way to progress is to incarnate. But it can take centuries or millenniums up to this decision comes. So it's again up to the free will of each one.
And there's another question here, Charles, from our friend from Algeria. Can a person reach the degree of perfection and enlightenment in one's life?
In a single life, no. You cannot. You look. I look to my life. I certainly learned a lot of things during this life, but I know that I still have a huge, a lot of things to learn and to correct and to adjust and to become better and so on. So definitively, I think no, it's not possible to reach perfection in one single life. Yeah. And this is also you see in one single life. Suppose you are in this life you have some physical or mental handicap. You see, so it would not be fair in one life only to ask people which are so many difficulties, poor education, poor country, whatever, to reach perfection, whilst you have others with all the facilities, all the helps and excellent parents and so on. So it would not be fair, for the one who has all this facility and the other one who has all the difficulties. That's why we can only find the balance through several lives.
Yeah, I think you can do the best you can, do the most you can to help the others, to minimize the quantity of reincarnation you need to get to perfection. But as we mentioned before, we need to reincarnate. It's mandatory. We have to reincarnate to progress. We sooner or later, like Charles said, we will have to reincarnate for our own benefit. It's hard, like Leopold Katz from Canada said. It's like going to the dentist, no fun, but required. So we will, yes, we will go through difficulties, and it's hard. It's not easy reincarnating. And I think even Mother Teresa, Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, and Gandhi, they all been through many incarnations, and probably in this last ones, they have, jumped few steps, but probably they will come back and still reincarnate to help on humanity's progress, to help their own progress. So it's necessary many incarnations, and in each incarnation you have to do the best you can, to love as much as you can, to be true to yourself, to go to the right path, and helping others, volunteering, doing good to the others, and then you have some extra points, and go faster into the enlightenment and perfection.
Yeah, this come across, Nadja, with the question from Fabrizia. She's saying, is the reincarnation is mandatory? Fabrizia, just complement what Nadja already well explained here. Depends on the degree of your evolvement, because a person who always do bad things, always has anger, selfishness leading them. So for some reason, they will be mandatory to reincarnate without they want or not. If a person acquire more knowledge and they are able to decide what is right, what is wrong, they discuss with the conscious, you will ask to reincarnate. So it's the other way around. So the reincarnate is not to be mandatory, but if you ask to reincarnate in order to work some virtues that is lack for you or you need to work. So it's along your evolving, you change your mindset. That's it. That's my 2 cents here. Sorry, Nadja.
And I would just I like much the remark, the post of Mr. Katz. Huh? Reincarnation is like to going to the dentist. You don't like to go, but you go for the good oral health. It's excellent. It's a good image.
Exactly. So, my dear Dr. Nadja, question 207 from the Spirit's book for you. Parents almost always pass their physical likeness down to their children. Do they pass on a moral likeness to them as well?
Yeah, not really. No? Each of us is unique. Is a unique spirit. We are unique souls. We have different bodies in different incarnations. But even in our incarnation now, no? We are all different bodies, but the same spirit, and the same spirit in different incarnation. And from the moment of conception, from the fertilization of the egg to the adult life, the soul is the same, but the body is changing. Then we can pass on genetic characteristics, the color of our eyes, the type of our hair, even some genetic diseases, like the polycystic kidney disease or hemophilia, some types of breast cancer as well. But we nowadays are talking about the lifestyle change because epigenetics studies have shown to us that our behaviors and lifestyles, the environment, such as eating healthily and how physically active we are, affects the way our genes work. So genetic change, this genetic characteristics, they are not reversible. But the epigenetics, they are reversible. They not change the DNA, but they change the way the body reads the DNA sequence. So it's like turning on and off the gene. For example, if you are smoking and you stop smoking, then your cells will begin to work normally again. And our behaviors include the way we see life, how spiritual and materialistic we are. So we can grow up in a family that is very materialistic, but you don't fit in because you have your innate moral values, as we're talking about reincarnation. So we learn with each incarnation. So we learn the good, to do good, that good is better than be bad person or do bad to others. And when we have this knowledge inside us, we won't remember it, what we've done in the past, but we will have that feeling inside us, the moral values inside us. So the opposite is also true. So if you are born in a family, very religious family, spiritual family, but you're not involved in any spiritual activity, or you're not related to anything regarding spirituality, so you just focus only on material gain to fulfill some wrong ideas that life ends when we die. So you're enjoying thinking like, okay, I will enjoy without thinking of the consequences to others and ourselves. But still, you have that notion of right and wrong. It's very important for the whole family to exchange ideas about spirituality, about religiosity, and especially from the early ages of the human being, human life. So the moral similarities exist because of the influence they exert to each other. So through the spiritual attraction. So we are before we are born, we have our own vibration, we are own energy. The spiritual vibration to spiritual similarities will be the same as our family, our parents. So the parents have the responsibility, as we were talking, Elsa and Charles, to educate the child, to help the child to grow, to have the notions of moral values, and to teach by example, through example, the moral values through affection, through love. Also, most of the time, that's the best way. Some children seem not to like their mother, the child doesn't like the father, 3 years old, and say, I hate you, and you don't know where this is coming from. So this happens because we're talking about here the reincarnation, probably because they were enemies in previous lives. And when they come back to the same family, to that family, is to learn forgiveness, to everybody, to learn, the parents and the child, to learn, and the brothers and sisters and the siblings as well, learn abnegation, dedication, love, trust, patience, so forgiveness, and all these values are important for the whole family, for the progress of the whole family. And we know that each child is a spirit, and with each one has its own virtues and vice. According to the studies of Hernani Guimarães Andrade, a Brazilian scientist on reincarnation, he talked about all the memories that we have, because the children, when they remember it, because they have this phase up to the 7 years of age that they can remember more because they're more connected to the spiritual life. And so because they stay sometimes less time in the spiritual realm, so they can remember it easily. And some come back with the birthmarks because of the wounds that affected the perispirit and didn't have much time to heal during the spiritual period. And then they come back showing this marks, like an imprint, like a stamp in their body. And as Dr. Ian Stevenson did a lot of documented work with reincarnation, past memories of children, past lives memories of children, and birthmarks. Dr. Jim Tucker is now continuing his work. Dr. Helen Bamba also did a lot of work with children and past lives. And as I said, there is this phase of remembering, the phase of regression, and then the mediumistic capabilities of seeing spirits, or remembering past lives, or the child playing with spirits, and this can come back. And then this mediumistic capabilities, they have to be understood. They have to be not forced in the child. And when we are showing the values, no? So we are talking also about the psychological characteristics, such as intelligence, artistic gifts, and temperament, good or bad taste, sympathy or dislike, so sweetness, aggression. So they are not inherited by children, but as we mentioned before and in other lives videos as well. So Jesus used the child as an example of innocence, and Charles said this early. It's the child is innocent, is pure because they didn't have too much influence from the outside world. So the mission of the parents, mom and dad, both, is to help the child to progress, to use the reason to discern between good and bad, to help with moral progress, to respect the other, because we are all equal. So we are equal as human beings because we are creation of God, but we are unique spirits. So the body is one, the spirit is the same. And we are all here to incarnate, to learn to love, we are here to contribute to the progress of the other. So we are incarnating to help others to progress as well. So it's not only for our own progress, but we are helping the child to progress. So the child coming to that family is teaching them to progress, the family to grow together. So it's a community. We are all in this spiritual community, helping each other. And the more we help each other, the faster the world will progress and renovate and have more love. So when we love each other, that's the way for the new life is loving each other, being true to ourselves and believing that we can help each other.
Good question here now.
Thank you, my dear. Well, I have a question. I'm glad you are here because the knowledge of epigenetic could help us through our reincarnation.
Yes.
To go through our incarnation. Well, that's what we're saying. And so when we change our lifestyle, when we change our behaviors, so when we become more connected to ourselves, so we can change the way the genes express so we don't trigger. For example, if we are always feeling anger or angry to the other, or we are always feeling guilt for something, we are changing the way we are expressing ourselves. So if we have this genetic possibility of having colon cancer, for example, and we have always that stress, continuous stress, continuous anger, eating not healthily, not doing sport. So we are just triggering that cells to mutate even more and grow and then become cancer. But if we have this gene, but we eat healthily, we do sport, we love, we try to understand, be an understanding, be a good person. So we avoid, we change the way we express ourselves, and we turn off that cell that will mutate. So that's the turn on and off of the epigenetics. So of course, if we are born with some disability, so I don't have one arm, or some kind of physical, so, or like we were saying, so some mental problems, we probably have done something in the previous life to come this way and to learn to kind of recuperate our perispirit, and then we will come back in the following reincarnation without that problem. If we learn what we had to learn in this life. And also sometimes if we come with some physical disabilities, sometimes it's also to help the parents to be more understanding. So then this person has a vascular accident, the cerebral vascular accident or a stroke, and then you have paralyzed your half body. So then you have your family to come to help you to have more comfort, to help you change your clothes, to give you a bath, to use the wheelchair, to push the wheelchair. So then this person who is helping you, who had the stroke, so this person is learning how to be more empathic, so empathetic, or more understanding and respectful. So this is also a challenge for this person, then how to learn and to progress in this way. So both are progressing in, if you think like we are explaining now about the need for reincarnation.
I'm thinking how the great work that the benefactors that are helping to plan a reincarnations department in spiritual world, because each one of us, if you have to have an epigenetic something in our life, change from healthy to cancer or everything, some minor things to do with our body, we come to the right parents that have something related to the past. At the same time, the parents that have a genetic condition to give the genes for me, in order later on, the mutation make me to undergo the trials or other things. Divaldo said once or twice, he had the genes of leprosy in his perispirit. As we have perispirit, everything is molded in spirit first, and according to his life, his entire life of respect, serving and working, serving and learning and progressing and giving attention to the life and people, etc. So the genes from leprosy stay there dormant. So we can develop things in ourselves. Perhaps that is not really in our perispirit, but we did it wrongly and appear something there. That will be the consequence for the next incarnation as well. So we are the ones that planning before or planning later, we are the ones that giving consequences in our life. This life, another life. But the parents, of course, genetically speaking, they are responsible as well.
Yes, the same as the drinking alcohol or smoking or using drugs. So you're committing suicide, doing bad to your body. So you're destroying your cells, you're destroying your body, and you are destroying your perispirit. So in consequence, in the next incarnation, you come with some lung problems or mental problems because of the drugs. Or we have a question here and then relate to a mental illness, how to draw a line between physical and spiritual problem, especially with so many cases of suicide among children. I think we have to do a live about mental illness and spirituality because it's a huge topic. There's a lot to talk about, but I think that it's important for the doctors to know about spirituality and the spiritual effects in life. There are many studies about how the spirituality can benefit your health, but also we have the obsessors, those spirits that are influencing our life. But because we are in that vibrational level, that we are in the same vibration level as these low-level spirits. So then we connect to each other. So it's important to keep always our mind with positive thoughts. So that's why it's important, very important, is volunteering, because when we are volunteering, we are helping the others, but we are helping yourself. So you're not having this repetitive thoughts or having negative thoughts, and you're not attracting these spirits that are probably influencing you at some point, to the point of committing suicide, for example, which can happen. And the suicide among children is something that's now very, very alarming, and we need to pay attention to it. We need to pay attention to our children. Could be because our lives are very erratic now, we are working too much, or we are not giving attention because of work, or because they are difficult children and we cannot talk, we cannot understand them, and they cannot understand us. And then the internet is there, which is excellent, is good, because we're now here and talking about it and communicating with people from Canada, from Brazil, from Japan, from Hawaii. But it's important also to see what the children are watching online. So what are their friends saying, and what they're talking to them, and always be open and understanding and compassionate. And with love, you can do many things, many good things, and especially when the child is anxious and uncertain of what's going on. So you can always embrace, talk, show love, show that you're there. But there is a line, there's a very thin line between the physical and spiritual problem in mental illness. And where's Elsa? And she disappeared. And it's a very important to know the mental illness as a mental problem, it's a pathology, and the spiritual effect. But also, as I said, mental vibrations and the spiritual vibration, good high level of vibration, meditation, yoga, being outside in the park. So it's very important. Look after their health, the mental health, the spiritual health, the physical health.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Nadja.
Stevan?
We do have a lot of questions here.
Yeah, but say Fabrizia, that we have a live that we did before regarding mediumship on children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I was out of internet, so I don't know if you answer or not.
Yeah, no, we didn't answer. So since we have Fabrizia, but Fabrizia, feel free to, if you still have questions, please let us know, and we will
answer to them.
And we'll go through this. And the last question here, Charles, I don't know if you can help us here. It's from Lucas. Good evening. My son has the same birthmark on his chin as my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother had, and we were very close. It makes me think it could be her again.
Yeah.
No, you're in mute, my friend. I cannot hear you.
Maybe, but maybe not. So it could be an indication. Even so, I think it's not enough to prove itself. So you should then maybe try to compare more aspects of the personality and so on. But I mean, to be absolutely sure about the personality of a reincarnation is very, very difficult. So that's why we can maybe, okay, when we get some spiritual information about something, we can tell, okay, yes, this is more or less probable. But it can, but not at 100% probability, never.
I think Jim Tucker has a study about birthmarks in children. It's nice to see on YouTube his videos. Dr. Jim Tucker.
Yes. So Jim Tucker, he compared, and Jan Stevenson, the wounding when the people who died of the previous life and the birthmark of the new birth. But here I think it's a birthmark of the grandmother and of the grandson, you know. So it is possible that a spirit comes with the same birthmark into different life. It is possible.
Jim Tucker is a disciple of Jan Stevenson.
Yes.
Fabrice is working here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is. There is a very important question here. What's the name? From Christine Crawford. And by the way, guys, this is the last question.
I think Nadja already answered.
Yeah, that's what I was answering. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't read the question, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
And
so that's it. So let's go to our announcements. So many people here, friends from Brazil, like Luciano from Florianopolis, UK, Canada, Portugal, probably here from Poland. So thank you very much for all these questions. It's a nice comments. And let's go to the announcements, and then we wrap up because we are already over time. So let me put it here. So, and also this Saturday we will have a second talk given by our dear friend Divaldo Franco. It's 7:30 p.m. Brazil time. It's around 10:30 p.m. London time. And on the 18th of May, this talk will have a subtitle in English. Thank you to our friends and Buzz, who is helping us to have this talk translated or have a subtitle in English. So thank you very much. The talk from last Saturday, it's already on YouTube, so you can go and find it. Okay. And our next show, it's about spiritualism and materialism. So same day, Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we'll be here to discuss about spiritualism and materialism. And that's it for us today. Thank you all. Thank you very much for your presence. Thank you very much for your knowledge. And I want to say thank you to all participants who are here today with us. May you have a blessed week. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your participation, all the questions, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.